Today, I'm going to discuss an incubator project that we did and how the idea came about, as well as how we developed it. A few years ago, we used a WordPress theme called Job Roller made by a company called App Themes, which worked really well for a job domain we had. App Themes, which can be found at appthemes.com, and although they're not paying us to mention this, we have used an affiliate code for their link provided in the description. Because it worked so well, I got the idea of, what if we had a lot of job domains and ran that software on them? And my experience in the past has been that job domains are some of the better performing domains, even if they're just parked. And I found that there were a lot of available domains available for registration along the lines of workinwhatevercity.com or workinwhateverstate.com or workincountry.com, whatever. So I registered somewhere between 100 and 200 of those. App Themes lets you buy their themes in one of two ways. You can pay $69 for the one theme, such as their Job Roller theme, or you can join what they call their club by paying $199 and getting access to all of their themes. They have other themes, such as a classified and coupon theme. They have about 6 total. No matter whether you buy one of their themes or all of them, you're allowed to use them on as many sites as you own, which is actually a fantastic deal because there are very few themes that work that way. This allowed us to do over 100 WordPress installs with this theme. We simply plugged an Indeed job feed for each one and a Google AdSense into each one, and pretty soon each domain was making a little bit of money from these services. Since it worked so well, we wanted to grow this concept to even more domains, but since we had to do a fresh WordPress install on each one, we started to run into problems with our hosting because of something called inode usage. Long story short, we were making a very large footprint and needed to consolidate that. So we thought, why not have all the domains directed to a single website install that could populate a logo and jobs based on the URL it was accessed from? So we started the development process of that. Originally, we tried to outsource it to Upworks, but as time went on, the developer started getting slower and slower at giving us updates and feedback, and eventually, he just disappeared. This caused us to bring the development in-house to one of our own developers. We're primarily a Microsoft shop, so we built this using ASP and Microsoft SQL Server technologies. The way we tend to decide whether we're going to do something outsourced versus in-house, we have a lot of in-house developers, but if we're unsure of its earning potential, we try to keep the costs lower by outsourcing it and taking advantage of our stronger currency to get a little bit more bang for our buck from another country. And there are some amazing developers in other countries. So that was the route we initially went with this, but then had an in-house developer to finish it up. We have over 1,500 domains in this job network now. We have workinus.com, workineurope.com, workinontario.com, workinnc.com, and many others. And they all basically share the same website now. Each site can have its own colors, its own logo, but basically shares the same design. 1,500 unique domains all sharing one central location might sound impressive, but in truth, the number is even larger, closer to 5,000. Because if you live in a city whose name is repeated in other locations like Burlington, North Carolina and Burlington, Vermont, we'll show a landing page for workinburlington.com that asks, which location are you looking for? If you click on North Carolina, it would take you to nc.workinburlington.com, and if you click on Vermont, it would take you to vt.workinburlington.com and show jobs local to those areas. So now we're at thousands of sites sharing one platform. So we have one install on a Windows server running IIS, all sharing the same IP address. So there's no one particular website associated with this IP address, so that any domain we point there will automatically show up in the admin tool we built in a section called Domain Manager. The Domain Manager also shows missing sites for domains that aren't recognized in the system because they haven't been configured yet. And this lets one of our office admins know so that they can go and add the details for that. When we add the details for this, the things we're adding are, what kind of geolocation is it? Is it a city? Is it a county? Is it a state or province? Is it a country or a continent? What's its latitude and longitude? What's the population? We have added our own analytics system to track all traffic so that we're not adding close to 5,000 sites to Google Analytics. If you've ever used Google Analytics, it just takes a few minutes to set up a site, but try doing that to 5,000. It can be daunting. So we still are able to use Google Analytics for sites we notice that are getting a lot of traffic or our huge regions, but this lets us pick and choose which ones we want to do that to. We also have our own ad management system in there, which allows us to put Google AdSense in there, but also allows us to add ads from other networks such as Commission Junction and other affiliate networks. And because everything is geolocated, we can pick ads that are available to certain regions and define them so that they only show up if they meet the location requirements. So what started off as a tiny project that was really the cost of some domain registrations, free WordPress software, and a job roller theme has turned into a large development project with 1,500 plus domains and some elaborate development. Since the cost of registrations and renewals plus hosting averages out to about $10 per domain per year, as long as a domain is making $1 a month, we're profiting. Of course, the next challenge is for each domain to make more than that. Say $10 a month, $100 a month, $1,000 a month, or even more. And that's what we're working on now. I hope this start to finish process of this was interesting for you and gave some ideas of how you could potentially grow something much larger than what you originally thought. We'd love for you to click the subscribe and like buttons and hope that you keep coming back to watch our videos so that we can pass more great ideas to you. Thank you.